Hey, how's it going? So, we're going to do another best ball draft on DraftKings tonight, and we're going to try and attack it a little bit different way. We're going to go after a dual threat quarterbacks for majority of the best ball draft, and instead of going for double stacks and bring back players for this particular draft, we're just going to go for single stacks and see how many how many of those stacks we can get with the tier one dual threat uh, quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Trey Lance, just to name a few. So let's see if we can accomplish that tonight. So again, we're doing this on DraftKings, and we're gonna do the big tournament here, the 3.5 millionaire best ball draft and best ball contest. Okay. So while we wait again, so this particular draft, we're kind of going against some of the strategy that I had talked about previously when doing these best ball drafts. With a pass heavy quarterback with two wide receivers and trying to focus on matchups towards the end of the season where you get into the playoffs in the final game. So with this particular one, we're going to try our best to really focus on the single stacks with the big time running quarterbacks, and instead of going for two receivers, we'll focus on getting a single stack there and really focusing on uh, the running aspect for the quarterbacks. And then, since we're not building those double stacks, we'll focus on capitalizing on the running backs in our lineup so we can capitalize on all those point bonuses that DraftKings offers. We're drafting from the 2 slot this time, which is pretty good. This past season, we've been drafting a lot from the 8-9 slot and more towards the middle of the pack. So there's a little bit of a change up, which is good. Again, shout out to Fantasy Holics for sharing the link for the Twitch stream. And if in case you missed, if you come in late or come in midway or whatever, I'll be posting this same stream to YouTube, and I'll send Fantasy Holics the link so they can share that as well. So, with the strategy in mind that we're going after this draft, we're going to go, the running quarterback with a single stack, with the emphasis on gaining those point bonuses. With that being said, we're going to go running back early. Go with McCaffrey again. You got some. He's been plagued with injuries for the past 2 seasons, but the upside that he's got Baker Mayfield at the helm, who's very accustomed to an offense that really who's been playing on an offense previously with a very stacked running back or a backfield at the in Cleveland. So with McCaffrey, he's really going to be leaning on him to make some big plays. Obviously, he's got DJ Moore as well, but it's widely known that offense runs through Christian McCaffrey for sure. And along with that, McCaffrey's ADP is pretty late, so it's going to be relatively easy to build some sort of stack with him if we wanted to go that route later on, which is very possible, even with the strategy to go after the dual threat quarterbacks that we're going to do in this draft here. So let's go ahead and mark these guys. That way we can keep an eye on them. We've got Trey Lance, definitely Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. I'm going to even go Daniel Jones, and although he doesn't get much credit for it, Trevor Lawrence as well. Excuse me. So we'll go ahead and mark their pass catchers. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. Well, all right. Then we go Tony. And again, we're just bookmarking these players essentially, just to keep track of where they're going, kind of get a feel for what's going to be possible for those picks. So 47. I might be able to get Lamar. If I go Andrews, then Lamar's definitely in play. So, alright, they just took Mark Andrews, so we, with in mind that we got A.J. Brown, probably going to try and take him at the 26th. So let's go ahead, let's stack up on running back. Did I just time out? Wow. I just lagged out, so it automatically picked somebody for me. It picked Lamar. So, alright, whatever. So we reached really badly on Lamar just by accident just now because I timed out. But that being said, we're going to go Aaron Jones. What I was getting at, where we're going to go running back again to try and get value there. So our next pick, I believe, is at the 47th pick. That's where I was going to try and get Lamar at, but because of that mishap, we're going to have to pivot and go another route. Try and go Kittle here. Let's go ahead and tag Ayuk as well. Try and get a feel, keep an eye on him, because I think he's going to have a huge season this year. I've liked what I've seen so far through preseason camp. I've seen all I needed to see just to believe he's going to have a huge season and start off hot. All right. So 47th pick, we got to go pass catcher of some sort. And again, we're trying to really focus on pairing these guys up with one pass catcher. We're not trying to go for the double stack like we typically would. Go for Renfroe. We'll try and go for Renfroe. We'll try. It's not going to fit the strategy per se, but I mean, there's never a bad spot for Renfroe on a roster. Where's he at? I think it's too crowded in that pick, in that ADP, in that draft position, but we'll try. We'll see if we can squeeze him in there. I mean, if he falls here, we'll get him. If he falls to us at the 71st pick, we'll definitely get him. So, again, with that in mind, if I'm getting Renfroe in the 71st pick, then I'm gonna have to reach big time on Bateman, and possibly Hurts if I really want Hurts. But again, we could just hold off and just go ahead and remove Hurts now and just go for Trevor, go for a Trevor stack. So if we're going to go ahead and eliminate Hurts from our bookmarks, we'll just go ahead and we'll go ahead and reach for Bateman once we come around on the 47th or I think it's 47th and 50th pick. Because, yeah, there's no way I'll be able to get Bateman. So I'm going to have to reach big time. All right. So, again, we're going to have to reach big time for Bateman. But it's really frustrating. Like, these guys here, whoever's drafting in this lobby right now is probably looking at my roster and like, what the heck is this guy doing? That's really frustrating. So we're back for like the 20th time on this one draft. So I don't know what it actually caught or what it didn't catch. I'm pretty sure he got all the way up until it picked Trevor Lawrence at the 50th pick. So I got, for the 71st pick, I got Renfro, and for the 74th pick, I got Brandon Ayuk. So I don't think there's really any more rushing quarterbacks to go after. And Kadarius Toney just went off the board. Now that we got Trevor Lawrence, we will try and build off that with Jones, or we'll even go I'm drawing a blank. Not Chenault. We don't want Chenault. Kirk. I think he's gone. No, he's still there. Okay. So we're coming at the 95th pick. Hopefully Kirk is there, and he just goes. Okay. We'll get Marvin Jones Jr. Let's go. I know we're trying to focus on the running quarterbacks and the single stacks for them, but with where we're at right now and the talent, we really don't need a running back. So we'll go Dawson Knox to go ahead and get kind of like that tier 2 tight end for our roster here. And then for that next pick, we'll go MVS. I've seen a couple clips on social media of him doing really well in camp. And he's shown in spurts that he is a viable receiver. So I think that'll end up working out. All right. We're still good. We're still connected. Cool. So again, because it keeps disconnecting like this, I might have to edit all these different clips and segments of this stream together, and they'll be posted on YouTube here shortly. If not tonight, then tomorrow it'll be posted to YouTube. That way you don't have to go through clip by clip and find all this. So, going back, my goal for this draft was to try and get dual threat quarterbacks with the upside to get those point bonuses on DraftKings to 100-yard rushing, 300 yards passing. Lamar Jackson, poster boy for getting those bonuses throughout the season. Trevor Lawrence with Doug Peterson this year, I think, has a very good chance of being able to do that. Daniel Jones, if he plays the way that I believe he's capable of, especially with the pressure of going into his last year on his rookie contract, has the upside to do so. I was about to look up some of the pass catchers for New York Giants, but I'm not going to risk that when I'm coming up. Although I will go ahead and mark Tunyon. I read where there's reports that Tunyon's come back to the practice field, which is very, very good for the Green Bay Packers in that pass catching core. So at this spot here, let's see. I like Rondale Moore. I like Rondale Moore at the ADP. We're really not able to do much as far as building more for those single stacks, like I said at the beginning when the stream started. So, then again, we're not able to do much here as well. Let's go ahead and get a true tier 1 or tier 2 tight end behind Knox. We'll go with Russell Wilson's tight end for the season. When's our next pick? 143 and 146. So let's see who comes in at that draft slot here. Trying to think. I'm curious to see where he went this time. Where'd he go? So, he came at 112. His average is 124. Al Smizzle, if you don't follow him or watch his content, he was talking big time about him because he went to his game and how he just kind of stuck out from the rest of the running backs. But I think at that ADP with the surrounding talent that's there, I wouldn't pick him that early. If he fell to the 120s, 130s, maybe. But I mean, you got Madison, Carter. Then I'm pretty sure your White's still on board, Zamir White. So, of course, Spiller as well. 9 picks. 43 and 46. Okay. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, Liam should be helping, but he's always eating. He got that from me too. Alright. I like Raheem Mostert here too. They go ahead and fill the rest of that out once he comes there. We're pretty heavily stacked here at the running back position too. So I feel pretty good about that. All right, we're coming up next. And the number one or the last left pick is Spiller. I like that pick. You're basically getting a true backup for Austin Eckler should he get hurt. And with him being very vocal about getting a smaller workload so he can avoid injury this season, basically giving fantasy owners a heads up like, hey, you know, it might be smart to go ahead and get my backup this year. Now, this is interesting. We can go Galladay or we can go Daniel Jones, knowing we'll probably be able to get Sterling Shepard, but not being completely sure that Daniel Jones will be there once we come back around. So I'm going to go Daniel Jones just in case, or I won't go Daniel Jones because, oh no, I did. So we went Daniel Jones. Long story short, we're going Daniel Jones because there's going to be more pass catchers there later on in the draft. You got Shepard, I think he's still on the board. And then you got Slayton as well, which you can get in on the last pick. You might have missed out on Marvin Jones Jr., but he might come back around. I think we're at 167, so we may end up getting him still. We'll go ahead and remove Tunyon. There's no way he'll be there. I highly, highly, highly doubt it. Plus, we got 2 tight ends, so we're pretty good there. See, I got 2 viewers right now. Appreciate you guys for stopping in. If you got any favorite picks for this fantasy football season, put them in the chat. May or may not agree, but it's always good to have a little extra perspective on who people are looking at this season. Let's see. We got the 67th pick. Let's see. Coming up in 8 picks. Kind of surprised Watson's dropped this far. I mean, I know he's a rookie, but when you have Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball, it's hard to ignore that. So yeah, we did miss out on Marvin Jones Jr. So we got to figure out. Let's see. Okay. Let's go Robbie Anderson. All right, we went Robbie Anderson. We got 6 wide receivers right now. Let's go with the rookie here, Wan'Dale Robinson. And go ahead and take the rest of these guys off the board. So we got a single stack with all of our dual threat quarterbacks except for Trevor Lawrence right now, which we can definitely get value later on in the draft still, even though we missed out on some of the guys we really wanted. But again, that's part of best ball. You really have to be able to think quickly on who you want to pick up. Did someone already pick Zay Jones? Wow. What's his ADP right now? I feel like he purposely did that so I wouldn't get him with Trevor. But that's fine. We'll get Chenault. Probably with our last pick or one of our last picks. All right. We could be looking at tight end here. Let's see. '91st and 94th pick. All right. Let's look at ADP. We got Austin Hooper. For tight end here. Tennessee, they got the rookie. They've got Westbrook, Evine, I think is how you pronounce it. Then not much else as far as pass catchers for a very run-heavy offense. But he already went. He just went. So that's out the window. All right. So he won't be back for week 1. So we're 7 picks away. We're looking pretty good at wide receiver right now. So let's try and find value at running back. Try and build up from there a little bit. Elijah Mitchell is going to be missing the rest of preseason, so we can try and go after a running back for the 49ers, or we can go and use one of our strategies from a previous stream and try and ensure our running back here at this position with either Foreman or Hubbard, which personally I like Hubbard more. Especially with the touchdown upside, Foreman more rather than Hubbard. But it's a little bit too much of a reach at this point in the draft where you really have to be careful of ADP and picking up the talent where it falls right now. Which tight end was a bit of a weak spot, so we reached our limit for tight end so far already. Now we can just really pick up talent for wide receiver. At the 94th pick, we'll probably end up going Bourne if he's still there. Although Jefferson and Crowder look pretty good too. One I think I saw, I don't know if it was Fantasy Holics or not. I think it was, talking about quarterbacks and picks and stuff, or receivers who would pick. And I went against Stafford because of his elbow injury. So with that in mind, with Josh Allen versus Stafford, I'm going to go with Crowder. And just because of who's throwing him the ball, basically going to be the favorite for the MVP this year, in my opinion. Yeah, unless Lamar decides to prove why he deserves an extension, which is highly possible, and what we're actually hoping for with this roster. We'll go Lamar. We'll go Allen on that pick over Matthew Stafford. So now that we've pulled together, or now that we've done what we've really wanted to do with this draft, we'll focus on getting some running backs in place, build some depth at running back, which we really went heavy early on in the draft with running back. So barring injury, this should hold us up for the year. Then should injury come, Spiller's there. One thing I've noticed since starting doing these streams and doing a lot of best ball drafts is Mark Ingram's ADP has fallen ridiculously, and it's obvious that a lot of people are believing that Kamara's not going to get suspended this year, and that if anything happens, it'll come next year. Let's see. Is there any updates on... You know what? Although his ADP, if he's there, I'm going to pick up Gus Edwards just because I already have Lamar Jackson, and I like that stack. Should Dobbins get hurt. I'm kind of surprised no one's picked him up. I mean, I know he's not going to be ready for week 1, but I'm really surprised no one's picked him up at that spot at this point in the draft. Yeah. At that spot, you kind of have to take him. I don't care if he's not ready for week 1 or not. I mean, to me, that's too much of a discount to pass up. So, all right. We're going Chenault again. I don't know if he's going to be very valuable, but nonetheless, I really hated that auto draft Trevor Lawrence that early. As much as I love him, as much as I love picking for the home team for Clemson, I hate that I picked him that early. Like, that makes me really frustrated. All right, so we're going 239. I'm trying to see. You know, I'm kind of surprised P-Ron hadn't got much, haven't got many looks as far as where his ADP is right now. Like, you would think that a lot more people would want to get him, being that Mixon has been known to miss a few games throughout the season. I kid you not, probably 70% of the time with BestBall Drafts, I've been picking up Barrios almost every time. I would probably put that number up to 80, 90%. But that may not pay off now that Zach Wilson isn't going to be playing much this year, or at least the beginning of the season with that meniscus tear and that knee scope he's going to have to get done. That's a good pick. Although I thought he was a tight end. That McCutcheon guy. I mean, he scored 2 touchdowns this past week in preseason. It's pretty impressive, but it's a good pick. I like that. Yeah. 5 of 6 for 87 in a preseason game. Preseason or not, I mean, that's pretty big. I like that pick a lot, actually. Especially if Jefferson's going to be out, and if they don't sign OBJ, they decide to go with a discount. All right, let's look at running back values here. I'm guessing P-Ron already went, because I don't see him. Yeah, he's there. All right. So, all right, cool. All right. And that concludes it. So we were able to do what I wanted to with the dual threat quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson, CMC, Aaron Jones, Rashad Bateman, Hunter Renfrow, Brandon Ayuk, Dawson Knox, MVS, T-Law, Rondale Moore, Al O. I won't even try and mess that up. We got Spiller, backup for Eckler, Daniel Jones, Robbie Anderson, Wan'Dale Robinson, Brevin Jordan, Jamison Crowder, Gus Edwards, Chenault, and Samaje Perine for our roster. So I'm not enthralled with that roster, but we were able to accomplish the stacks that I intended to get. The thing that I'm happiest about with this is, like I said, we were able to execute our game plan, but able to get a lot of value early on in the draft with those running backs. So, again, sorry for the connection issues. And if you left the stream because of that or whatever, again, I'm gonna try and post this back on YouTube and piece these clips together. That way you can watch it one continuous stream. But follow the page on Twitch and follow me on YouTube as well. It's under Will Reeves, just like Twitch. So if you haven't already, please give a follow. I appreciate it. Thank you guys.